I'm very happy to bring you the June International Update. And this month I'd just like to concentrate on 4 very crucial issues in our international ministry. I've almost completed 40 years now with Operation Mobilization, and a lot of that time has been traveling and meeting people, and many people stand out for me as I think back over these 40 years. But one man in particular has stood out for me, and I've prayed for him many times. His name was Joseph Taban. He was one of the leaders of our work in Sudan, and has most recently actually been the leader of our work in the new nation of the Republic of South Sudan. He was also a very significant leader in the Anglican Church in Sudan at the same time. He's been battling cancer for some time and seemed to be successfully battling it. But just a week ago, I got the tragic news that he had died. My brother Kamal Fahmy knew him far better than I did. And this is what Kamal has to say about Joseph. We lost a man of God. The church lost him. South Sudan lost him, and Sudan lost him. His life and ministry touched many people in North and South Sudan and in Lebanon, where he went to the Baptist seminary. Joseph was a great asset to our team in Sudan since 1988. He led outreach teams all over the country. He also served in West Africa with the OM ship for half a year. Lately, Joseph led the OM team in South Sudan, was the principal of Bishop Gwynn College, the Episcopal Church Seminary, and had a great spiritual impact on the church. The government in South Sudan gave him an open door to minister Christian values to its military and to its police. He is, of course, a great loss to his family, his dear wife, Esperanza, and their 3 children, Jane, Joshua, and Jesse. Can I ask you please to pray for Esperanza and for the family and for the very close-knit team in South Sudan. This will be a huge loss to them. Please pray for grace to cover this whole situation. Continue, please, to pray for my successor, Lawrence Tong. As you'll recall, he takes over from me on the 1st of September. Right now he's in Germany, meeting Christian leaders, spending time there with our team and our leader there, Tobias Schultz, and also taking meetings throughout Germany. I had a chat with him on the phone yesterday. He's encouraged, but asks for prayer as he tries to get his head round all the different aspects of this job, and particularly praying for anointing on him as he takes meetings throughout Germany. He spent a number of weeks with us here in Carlisle, and that was a very special time. He's also had a few days down with our special projects team in London, just looking at some of the behind-the-scenes work that goes on supporting the ministry around the world. Please pray for Lawrence and his wife Susan as they continue to take over the leadership of this work. The third thing I'd like you to pray about this month is the tragedy of Syria. Stories coming out of this country are devastating just to listen to. But as is so often the case, God is at work in the midst of the suffering. I just want to read a report from our leaders in that part of the world, which I found to be incredibly encouraging in the midst of the pain. Syria, in the midst of continued strife and suffering, God's people are witnessing spiritual impact in many places through compassion and witness. OM teams of volunteers are partnering with 23 local churches and Christian groups in Lebanon and 6 in Syria to implement relief. OM's role has been training, equipping, resourcing, and ongoing support and help, providing aid to more than 1,700 families every month since January. In one town, 15% of those at church meetings are from Muslim backgrounds. We've helped a number of nominally Christian families who have had to flee their homes. 30 adults and a number of children have since come to Christ, and a new fellowship has been formed. In 5 villages, new house fellowships of Muslim background believers have started to meet regularly. In another town, believers meet daily to study the Word and often bring interested Muslim friends, seekers, watching Christian films, and so on. One pastor requested 2,000 New Testaments to meet the demand. Some said, "Please come back, even if you don't bring anything. We love to hear more stories about Jesus." Other families told us, "Our children have nothing positive in their lives. Please teach them how to sing and tell them about God." Of 14 local project partner Lebanese churches, 79% have seen growth in numbers at Sunday meetings, with over 110 new Syrian families. One church is helping 35 to 40 families each month. They had 160 Syrians attending their Sunday services. They've had to switch to 2 services just to accommodate the numbers. Nearly 2/3 of the churches have started a Bible study or discipleship group specifically for Syrian refugees. Even more churches are doing one-on-one discipleship with 57 Syrian refugee families. One OM team runs a Bible study group for 19 Syrian Kurdish teenagers. One fellowship has in 2 months distributed 7,000 New Testaments, 12,000 CDs or DVDs, 500 Christian books and booklets, and 4,000 children Bible stories, mainly to Syrians. It's a privilege, our leaders down there say, to partner with local believers, see them often for the first time, sit with Muslims, share with them, and pray for them. In the midst of tragedy, there's opportunity. Our prayers can make a huge difference. Finally, this month, I'd like you to pray urgently for the ship ministry, which I sense is going through a particular time of crisis at the present moment. There are reports here of wonderful ministries in the Philippines, but there are some huge issues facing the ship right now. I think the major one is the need for an exemption from some requirements which will take place on the 1st of August for commercial shipping. If we can't get an exemption from Transport Malta, with whom we're registered, from these exemptions, then I think it's true to say the very future of the ministry is in doubt. We've also got some real financial problems. For the first time, actually, for quite a long time, just money for the operational expenses of the ministry is very, very short at present, and we do need to see a breakthrough. And then on top of all of that, I just had a text this morning saying that they're going to have to delay a departure from their present port, San Fernando, and they won't be able to sail at least for a week, could be longer. It's a problem with one of the generators on board, but that problem on the generator may have affected other parts of the engine as well. It's early days just to know how serious the problem is, but I just sense that all of this coming together, it's a real time of crisis for this amazing ministry of Logos Hope, and appreciate your prayers for that. Well, I've brought you some really serious issues for prayer this month, and I really do want to thank you for your continued prayerful support. It means everything to us. And on behalf of all of our workers in more than 100 countries around the world, our sincere thanks. Look forward to speaking to you in 1 month's time.